Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Recreation Education Committee. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Dr. Carbone? Here. Mr. Delahanty?
Here.
Mr. Flagler-Mitchell?
Here.
Mr. Gamble is excused. Chairwoman Valerio?
Here. Is there anyone signed up for the public forum?
There's not.
Okay. Is there anyone present who is not signed up who would like to speak to or address this committee at this time? And I welcome representatives from our distinguished community services. And, if there's any questions, or let us know. Okay, so here we go. The next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes. You have the March 24th, 2015 minutes before you. They will stand approved unless the clerk is notified of any changes by the end of the day. At this time, Mr. Paul Johnson, the Associate Planner of the Planning and Development Department, will now give a brief overview of the 2016 to 21, I can't believe it, Capital Improvement Program as it pertains to the Recreation and Education Committee.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Everyone should have a copy of the County Executive's proposed program. This program has been reviewed and recommended by the Monroe County Planning Board, and they did conduct one public information meeting as part of their review. As is the case with past capital programs, there are no funding approvals associated with the Legislature's adoption of this 6-year plan. The first opportunity for funding will come as part of the capital budget, which is introduced to the Legislature as part of the operating budget. And at that point, you will see, hopefully, the projects that are in the 2016 year of this 6-year program come before you for bond resolutions for funding for subsequent construction. There are 3 sections of the program that I want to brief you on very quickly. The first would be the Monroe Community College program, which you'll find on page 11 of the document. The project list is pretty consistent with last year's program, although there have been a few shifts and additions to it. There are 2 new projects. In 2016, you'll find the Brighton Henrietta Town Line Road property acquisition, a project shared equally as are all the college projects between the county and the state. There's another new project, the Property Preservation Projects Phase 3, which appears in the 2019 to 2021 time frame at about $6 million total. And again, as I mentioned, several of the other projects have changed their schedule a little bit. The Science Lab and Support Space has moved out 1 year. The Renovate Science Labs has moved out 2 years. And the Applied Technology STEM Edition and the Expand the Visual and Performing Arts and Renovate Building 4 projects have moved out 1 year. The next area is the library system, which you'll find on page 21. This continues, as it has in previous years, the library automation project with varying levels of funding over the 6-year period. And finally, not finally, there are 2 more, excuse me, the parks program you'll find on page 50. There are no new projects in this 6-year effort. Again, it's a continuation of several ongoing projects, buildings and structures and utilities, access and site improvements, as well as master plan improvements to a number of the county parks that are listed there over this 6-year period. And finally, a new project category, the Seneca Park Zoo, which you'll find on page 54. And there is one project listed here, the Tropical Exhibit and Main Entry Plaza project, scheduled over a 4-year period starting in 2016. And as I'm sure you've seen some of the press about this project, it is to replace the main zoo building and improve the entrance plaza area of the Seneca Park Zoo. And that, Madam Chair, concludes my presentation. We'd be happy to answer questions when you get to this item on the agenda.
Thank you very much. The next item on the agenda is new business.
Referral 15-0156.
Okay. Moved by Mr. Delahanty and seconded by Dr. Carbone. Are there any questions at this time? Okay. Mr. Flagler? See?
Through you, Madam Chair, on page 50, what is the fiber line used for in the zoo?
Through the chair, I have to apologize. You'll notice there are no representatives from the Parks Department or the zoo here, and that's because they're, at this time, conducting a public input meeting on the Zoo Master Plan update project. So if it's okay with you, Madam Chair, and the committee members, we will take down the questions and then respond in writing back to the committee, if that's acceptable.
That would be appreciated. Thank you.
So, pardon me, Madam Chair, if the legislator could repeat your question.
On page 50, what is the fiber line used for in the zoo? And also, through you, Madam Chair, why is the zoo being separated this year from parks? Also, through you, Madam Chair, will it continue to be separated after the project is done?
Through you, Madam Chair, the continuation of keeping the zoo separate from the parks budget would be at the purview of the next administration.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Yes.
Okay.
One more. Through you, Madam Chair, to the administration. On page 16, why was the expansion of the VPA and the renovation of Building 4 pushed back?
Through the chair, we do have representatives from the college here if they would like to address that. Just to give the overall perspective, though, on the program, we do request when the departments make their proposals that they try to keep their total funding program at the same level as the previous program. So if a department wishes to introduce a new project, then that often results in projects shifting further out in the program. And I don't mean to preempt the college answering the question, but I think partly of the explanation is that a new project was introduced. So therefore, to keep total funding levels consistent with the adopted program, there needed to be a shifting of projects.
Thank you.
Any further questions? Oh, they're being, oh. Oh, would the representative from MCC please come forward? Thank you.
Good afternoon. Could you repeat the question, please, through the chair?
Yes, through you, Madam Chair, to administration. On page 16, why was the expansion of the VPA and the renovation of Building 4 pushed back?
Through the chair, I think the response by Mr. Johnson is precisely what we've been doing. We've been trying to keep the ask at a level amount, but the priorities change. And so as a result of changing some of our priorities, we push some things out in order to take some other things onto the project.
Thank you.
Okay, any further questions? Okay, therefore, all those in favor of passing the capital budget for the upcoming year, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And any opposed? Item carries. Are there any other matters to come before this committee? All right. There being none, we will declare this meeting closed, and the May 19, 2015 meeting of the Recreation Education Committee stands adjourned. The next meeting is scheduled for June 23rd, 2015 at 6 p.m. Thank you.